evidential hearing will continue. The evidence will be broadcast after a 10-minute delay, but by voice only. Those with mobile devices may use them to report what they hear, but only 10 minutes after the event that they're describing has elapsed. Such devices may not be used for recording or photography. Mr. Barr.
Thank you, sir. Before we move on from France, there's just one further matter I want to put to you. Let's return to the rental agreement, please. That's at MPS-0527 763, page 7. You told us that this was arranged by your employer, and I just wanted to see if you can shed any more light on it. The form itself is in English. It's an English form with English text. So, for example, at the bottom, the blurb under the signature box is in English.
Yep.
Do you know where, although the car was obviously coming from the Avis depot at the Marseille airport, do you know where this transaction took place?
No.
Thank you. If we could take that down now, please. Could we have up next the document? It's at tab B53, sir, in volume 2, MPS 0746307. If we could have the text at the top expanded. This is a document dated the 26th of September 2000, and we're back to the topic of HN 26. It says TN 21, temporary nominal that is, rang this afternoon to say that he had had a conversation with Roadbridge, that's HN 26, earlier today, regarding expenses arising from her enforced move. So we've moved on to a stage where she's been moved. TN21 said that during the course of speaking to RB, he had mentioned that HN58 was intending to visit her in the near future to ensure that all was well. RB replied that she saw no reason for such a visit to take place, and indeed wanted as little contact as possible with the SDS office in particular and MPS in general. She told 21 that she wanted to distance herself from the organisation and put the whole thing behind her. She asked that 21 pass this message on to 58. The call was otherwise cordial, and TN21 is happy that the practical aspects of her move are proceeding well. If you could have a look at the manuscript note underneath now. Spoke to TN21, Ray above, on the 29th of, I think it's September 2000. She confirmed that he confirmed that HN26 didn't want to see me. He gave the impression that she wanted to leave the UK as soon as possible. TN21 had all necessary financial arrangements. We both came to the conclusion that HN26, and we've redacted it, were possibly splitting up. We know she was married at the time. Need to speak to James Top JT, that's you, and HN1. So this is a little earlier, I think, than the question I put to you yesterday. Mm-hmm. Can you recall HN1 asking to speak to you about HN26 while she was going through the enforced move?
I can't recall HN1 asking to speak to me. I'm sure HN58 did. I can't remember an enforced move, to be honest with you. I knew about them moving abroad, but it had already happened. Yeah, so I'm sure he did speak to me. I can't particularly remember it.
Did you speak to HN26 at this stage?
If I did, it was only about wanting to distance herself from the office, but I can't remember if I did at this stage.
Had you been in touch with her? Is that why 58 thought that you and HN1 might know something about it?
Yes, I mean, we knew each other wellish.
And from your knowledge of her and what was going on in her life at the time, is it right that she was splitting up with her husband?
I didn't know that, but I did know them both.
And did you come into possession at this stage of any knowledge about whether or not she'd had a relationship with Mr. Frampton?
No. Could
we take that down now, please? From Volume 4, tab C116, MPS 306299. This is a report attributed to you, dated the 12th of July 2001. It's titled Huntingdon Life Sciences, and if we could have both paragraphs of text expanded, please. Give you a moment to just read that.
Thank you.
It appears that there's a trial, Crown against Avery and Delamain, or similar, for conspiracy to cause public nuisance, and you are reporting information back about the defence solicitor's advice to their clients, and we've redacted that using the gist LPP. We looked at a much earlier example of reporting of legally, professionally privileged material yesterday. What I wanted to ask you, this document being dated the 12th of July 2001, had there by this stage been any change in the position as to your training on the question of LPP? Had there been any further training?
No.
Had there been any training on how the Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act treated legally, professionally privileged material?
I certainly don't recall any.
Had you been given any instructions between the last report and this one?
Same applies. I don't recall anything like that.
Had there been any discussion before you reported this intelligence about authorising you to obtain legally, professionally privileged material?
No.
Was there any reaction from your managers to this report?
I don't remember the report particularly, but I can't remember any reaction, certainly.
Can we take it that you reported this in the usual way because you hoovered up all the information you could find?
Absolutely.
Could we take that down now, please? Can we look next at the document? It's at tab B54, sir, MPS 0526929 at page 8. Our understanding is this is the last authorization for your deployment, because it runs from 2nd of October 2001 to the 1st of October 2002. The documents I showed you yesterday, earlier, were 3 months, were every 3 months. Here we've got annual, by this stage, annual authorities. Was that a change that you were aware of?
No.
We see that it's signed by or authorised by Roger Pierce. And if we could go back to page 7, please. This is the end of the form that was completed for submission to Commander Pierce. and you'll see at the bottom it's signed by Detective Chief Inspector Dell. Did you discuss this authorisation with DCI Dell?
I can't recall ever discussing an authorisation, no.
Can we take it from that you probably didn't?
Yes.
If we could go to page 6, please. And if we could have a look at the 5th and 6th rows down, please. The top of those 2 rows, consideration has been given to any adverse impact on community confidence that may result from the use or conduct of a source or information obtained from that source. And what has been written is the positive effects of the use or conduct of the source in this arena and the information emanating therefrom are likely to far outweigh the negligible negative impact on the few supporters of extremist animal rights activity within the community. See also attached risk assessment. The next question is details of who will be affected, including collateral intrusion. Anarchists and animal rights activists who are involved in public disorder, criminal damage and serious assaults by. Only information regarding those involved in such activity will be sought and actioned. In completing this form, or at least signing it off, what I'm interested in is did DCI Dell have any input from you?
Not that I can remember direct to this form, no.
And in order to make the judgment that the positive effects of the information would far outweigh the negligible negative impacts on the few supporters of extremist animal rights activity, are you able to assist us any further as to what evidential basis DCI Dell had to come to that conclusion?
I would presume he's basing it on the reporting thus far in the deployment.
Thank you. Could we take that down now, please? Want to move next to the question of passports. Could we have up, please, Volume 2, Tab B95, MPS 0719783. This is a file note written by HN53. It's dated the 28th of February 2002. And if we look first of all at the top paragraph, MT pulled me aside after today's meeting, Rahe's withdrawal, to say that he had a problem with his passport. Somewhat shamefacedly, he told me that he had removed 2 pages from the document in the immediate aftermath of the Indonesia denouement in an effort to avoid detection. The pages related to his entry and exit visa stamps for that trip. Is this an accurate account of what happened?
I'm not sure what this particular meeting refers to. I don't remember it particularly on that description.
Did there come a time when you told HN53 that you had removed pages from your passport?
Certainly.
Could you go to the next paragraph, please? Clearly, it would be operationally improper to countenance MT's next trip to the USA with a defective passport, particularly in view of his place of birth, Muscat. The fact that he chose to risk using it on last week's trip to Los Angeles and got away with it must be borne in mind. Is the reference to last week's trip to Los Angeles a trip that you took to America to prepare your exfiltration story?
Not sure about the dates. I took one trip to Los Angeles with I think the name's all by handler.
Well, if we go to, for the moment, tab B100, MPS 0745392, please. This is a document we went to earlier because it conveniently records dates and places. If we look at the very bottom indent, Los Angeles from the 4th of February 2002 to the 14th of February 2002, is it right that those were the dates when you went on an authorised trip to Los Angeles to prepare for your exfiltration?
Yes, I've no reason to doubt that.
If we go back now to MPS 0719783, and the bottom paragraph, I told MT to bring in the defective passport on Tuesday the 5th of March, and we will then take steps to obtain a new one before he travels on the 1st of April. We can discuss further next week when we see him. And presumably at that stage there was a plan for you to travel again on the 1st of April?
I would presume so. Yes, I've got a redacted bit.
Is it right then that you travelled to the United States in February 2002 with a passport that was not only in your cover identity, but was also missing pages that you had removed to disguise your unauthorised trip to Indonesia?
It's certainly true. I went there in a passport, my cover identity. I don't think the pages would have been removed at that stage.
Why would you go and tell HN53 that you had removed pages from your passport if you had not done so?
Well, I had done by the time I spoke to HN53. I just don't think when I travelled to Los Angeles in February that was the case.
I understand your evidence. Why did you tear the pages from your cover passport between your return from America and going to tell HN53 that you had?
I can't remember doing it. I assume it's because of visas in the passport that I didn't want him to see.
But if you had already travelled to America on your cover passport, why did you need to take any steps? Couldn't you just travel again on your cover passport?
I could have done if I'd had control of it. I don't remember why he was taking the passport.
Well, on the basis of this note, it's not that he was taking it anyway. He asked for it because you told him that pages had been torn out from it.
Yes, I can't remember it like that.
Is it really right that you didn't tear the pages out until after the trip to America?
I think it most likely.
And if you did tell HN53 on the 28th of February, surely that must have been linked to the forthcoming travel on the 1st of April.
I presume so.
Was the position that you had torn the pages out of the passport and realised how difficult, or at least risky, it was travelling on such a passport?
Yes, and I think I'd have realised that before I went to the USA.
And was the purpose of bringing it to management's attention to try and get a replacement passport without pages torn out?
I can't remember it, but that's certainly how that report reads.
To enable you to travel abroad with less risk of being stopped?
To enable me to travel abroad, certainly.
because taking such a risk would have put not only you at risk of adverse treatment from foreign immigration, but also generated a risk to the SDS operation, wouldn't it?
That's true.
That, from the perspective of the SDS, would have been a cardinal sin.
Certainly.
Were you asked by HN 53 whether you had travelled on a defective passport?
Not that I can recall.
Why then was HN 53 able to write the fact that he chose to risk using it on last week's trip to Los Angeles and got away with it must be borne in mind?
I presume he assumed that. I don't know.
Might it be that he asked you about it and you told him?
I don't know what I told him.
Could we take that document down now, please? And could we have a look at your witness statement? It's UCPI 5035553. Moving now to ask you questions about the original cover passport you had, which ends with number 542, so I'll call it 542. If we could have page 22 of this file, please. Paragraph 46. I cannot remember physically removing pages 5 to 10 and 25 to 31 from my first cover passport, number 542, as referred to in, it gives a document reference, but I accept that I did so. I would have done this to try and avoid SDS management becoming aware that I had travelled abroad on trips that they were not aware of. So, pages 5 to 10 and 25 to 31 were missing from your original cover passport, number 542. Quite a lot of pages.
Yep.
Trips, plural.
Yes.
Which trips did you disguise or withhold from management knowledge by removing pages 5 to 10 and 25 to 31?
The only one I can really remember is Jakarta, that we've already talked about. We talked about an Amsterdam trip, but I wasn't sure if that was the one I went on, so again, that might be one of them, but I don't know beyond that.
Would you like to tell us about, probably not a well-phrased question, would you tell us about any other unauthorised trips that you took and withheld from management?
I can't remember any others.
Were there any others?
I can't say absolutely that there weren't, but they'd have probably been France, day trips, I don't know.
Were there any trips taken in the course of your cover employment?
No.
Trips taken to filming locations?
No.
Trips taken in the course of business in the film industry in any way whatsoever?
No, nothing abroad.
Were there any unauthorised trips other than booze cruises to France that you participated in with your activist targets and associates, other at all?
Not that I can remember.
Are you This is a file note written by Detective Inspector HN53. He's dealing with what he says is an unauthorised USA trip, 2/3 of the way down the page. It says, as detailed in a separate file note, D.S. Thomson's second Straven passport showed that he had entered the USA on the 4th of February 2001. This was an unauthorised visit which has yet to be explained. The Straven 598 credit card statement lists 3 small transactions in Hollywood, Los Angeles, on the 6th, 8th and 13th of February 2001, but there is no indication on any of the other accounts to indicate how flights and accommodation were paid for. This raises a possibility, therefore, that another source of funds was used for the visit. Records show that D.S. Thomson took annual leave between the 5th and the 18th of February, between late February and late May 2001, travelled with a number of other SDS officers to Las Vegas on an authorised welfare trip. All of those officers, including D.S. Thomson, travelled in their genuine identities. Is it right that you travelled to Las Vegas in your genuine identity?
Yes.
And now that you have been reminded that there were 3 transactions in Hollywood, Los Angeles on the 6th, the 8th and the 13th of February 2001, it's right, isn't it, that you were in Los Angeles on the 6th, 8th and 13th of February 2001?
No, I do not believe I was there.
And in terms of the suspicion that you had hidden accounts to fund unauthorised trips, is there any truth in that?
No.
Are you sure about that?
I had the accounts that by this point they knew about, that's all.
When we come to accounts, there were, turned out, quite a lot of them.
There were several, certainly, yeah.
And were you using any of those to fund unauthorised trips?
No, and they'd have seen them if that was the case.
I beg your pardon?
They'd have seen them if that was the case.
And did they see them all?
I believe so.
All the ones that you actually had?
Yes.
Can we move to the topic of driving licences, please? And can we go first in volume 2 to tab B101? That is MPS-0719 569. This is a file note dated the 8th of March 2002. It says MT has 4 licenses in the name of Straven. Is it true that you had 4 licenses in your James Straven identity?
I accept that.
The first was the one that was originally issued in September 1996 when you were preparing to deploy.
Presumably, yep.
The second and third were replacements which you obtained, one directly yourself and the other obtained by the office, because you said that the original license had been stolen.
Okay, yeah.
Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
And so does it follow that when you applied to get a replacement license, you were making a false representation to the authority which issued that license?
Yes.
And does it follow that you made a false representation to your managers, which caused them to obtain a further driving licence for you?
Yes.
The final driving licence is one issued in 2001, and the bit of the address that we're going to use is the coach house. And that's a licence that you obtained on the with an address which was the address of a fellow activist. Is that right?
I believe so, yes.
As for the two replacements in the middle of the page, is it right that one was issued for your cover address in London?
I presume so, yeah.
And the other was issued for an address in Scotland?
Yeah, I can't see it, but I presume so. The
fourth licence, the reason you obtained it, as I understand your evidence, your written evidence, is because you were facing prosecution for one or more road traffic offences.
I know I said that. I can't remember when I said it. And I can't remember how true it was.
And the purpose of obtaining a driving licence to another address was to try and come up with a scheme which would avoid losing your licence.
I can't see that that would have worked.
This wasn't my question. Is that why you obtained that additional driving licence?
I don't know.
Can we look at a document called the Post-Operational Debrief document? It's MPS-0722-282. It's volume 3, tab B136, sir. And if we could go to the bottom of page 5, first of all. Before I ask you questions about that text, this document, are you familiar with it?
Yes, I think so.
You drafted it, didn't you?
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
After your deployment, essentially when you were in trouble,
Yes.
as a way of explaining your position.
Yep.
If we look at the bottom of the page, thank you. I'll give you a moment to refresh your memory.
Okay, thank you.
So, is it right that you were stopped for speeding?
I was certainly stopped for speeding at least once, yes.
And is it right that you were concerned that not only might you be disqualified in your cover identity, but that your real licence might also be the subject of attempts to have it endorsed?
I don't remember that particularly. I certainly don't think I was being honest with my managers when I wrote this. It might have been a factor.
Can you help us with where the truth lies?
To be honest, no. 4 licences, what on earth for? I have no idea.
In conversation with the SDS office, it was established that if his address was so remote that public transport was ineffective and he would be unemployable without a vehicle, a court would be disposed under existing European guidelines to merely fine. And then if we can go over the page, please. Him and put points on his thus far clean licence. As a result, a new licence was obtained showing JS residence as one of his Weary's addresses in deepest Sussex. This had the added benefit of having the ungodly involved in a small deceit against authority, which further enhanced JS's legend. Again, the office was aware and seemed to agree it was a frightfully good wheeze. In the event, the prosecution, like two before it, failed, more because JS, unlike JT, enjoyed the luck of the devil than because of any strategic thinking. So can we take it from that you had in fact been prosecuted, albeit unsuccessfully, at least twice before?
I presume so, yes.
And that the purpose of getting a driving licence with an address of a fellow activist, which was not in London, was it?
No.
Was to assist you, should the need arise, to plead with the court that you lived in a remote location and you would be the subject of exceptional hardship if your licence was taken away from you.
That seems to be what this says, yes.
It is what this says. What I'm asking is that the truth?
I don't think so. I don't think that would have worked.
It's not quite the same question. It's not quite, that doesn't answer the question. Is that why you got the additional driving licence?
I don't know.
Why else might you have got an additional driving licence?
By that point, I have no idea. I don't know what I was doing, why I thought I needed 4 licences. It's ridiculous.
You've asserted in this document that the office was aware and thought it was a frightfully good wheeze. Is it your evidence today that you told any of your managers that you were acquiring a licence with a false address for the purposes of evading justice?
I don't know. I can't imagine why I would have written that. Bear in mind, they would just ask the office anyway. But I certainly can't remember telling them, and I don't know what the reaction would have been, but I can't believe it would be a good one.
Yes. Is it your evidence today that any of those managing you within the SDS at this time would have approved of a scheme dishonestly to mislead a court for the sole purposes of preserving your cover driving licence?
It seemed very unlikely.
Can we therefore take it that the sentence in this document is untrue?
Yes.
And that you would have known it to be untrue when you wrote it?
I would assume so, yes.
Why did you write it?
I don't know, because it would never have worked.
Would you have attempted it had the prosecution continued?
I don't know.
You appear, as we understand it, to have later communicated to your managers what the purpose of obtaining the 4th driving licence was. Is that right?
Not in this form, you mean?
Not in this document. Did you tell them later?
I can't remember.
When you met DCS Black and DCI Dell on the 19th of March 2002?
I might have said something, I can't remember that.
Can we take that document down now? You had multiple bank accounts and credit cards which you hid from management, didn't you?
Yes.
And your evidence in your witness statement is to the effect that the purpose of having those accounts and cards was to give you some freedom to spend without oversight.
Yep.
Just want to explore that a little bit. What money were you seeking to spend without oversight?
My money.
On what?
Anything, really. Anything I thought I would prefer them not to know.
Limited to your cover activities or going beyond that?
Limited to the life of James Straven.
So things like unauthorised trips.
Potentially.
And gifts.
Certainly.
Anything else?
I think anything, essentially.
When you were asked to disclose bank statements to show what was being spent, you said unable to provide copies of statements to them. Why was that?
I don't remember that.
Did you withhold statements from your managers when asked for them?
Quite likely, yes.
Because you would not have liked them to see what you were spending money on.
Exactly.
But by that stage, the cat was out of the bag. They had the passports. They knew there were problems. Why at that stage did you still wish to conceal from your managers the full extent of your misconduct?
I didn't want them to know. I don't think I knew what they knew. They just knew lots of things. So I thought the more I hid, the better.
In other words, you were being anything but honest and straightforward with them.
Absolutely.
You were
Yep.
trying to evade
Yes.
as much as you could.
Yep. And to make their life difficult.
Picking up the thread of the money again, could we go to File 2, tab B107. (719,702), please. This document at page 12, please. Employment. This again is an internal document, part and parcel of the investigation of your conduct by the SDS. Early on his operation, MT made the transition from duff employment with a company through to freelance locations work for. He is only known to this company as Straven. It has been confirmed that MT was paid £2,857 for the 1998-9 tax year by a cover employer and £399 in 2000-2001 by another cover employer. There is an established procedure in the MPS that any money must be paid to an individual acting under an assumed name in an undercover role must be returned to central funds. First of all, were you aware of any rule as to what you should do with money and in your cover identity?
No.
When you received £2,857 in the 1998-1999 tax year from your cover employment in the film industry, what did you do with it?
I presume I just paid it into my James Straven account.
And then spent it as you wished as James Straven?
Yep.
And were your then managers aware that you were earning money in your cover identity and spending it in your cover identity?
I believe so.
And then for the sum of £399 in 2000-2001, are your answers the same to those questions, or do they differ?
No, they're the same.
Did you earn any other money whatsoever in your cover employment whilst you were James Straven?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Can we take that down now, please, and go in volume 2 to tab B48, that's MPS 309486. This is a withdrawal strategy document, which we understand it's dated at the end 2nd of June 2000, and it's signed by, or got the initials of Noel War at the bottom. Can we have a look, please, on page 1? First of all, in section 1, the bottom half of section 1, from the paragraph that starts, as his career in the film industry progressed. As his career in the film industry progressed, he was able to move from a motorbike to a Range Rover, a vehicle much appreciated by the Sabs. He also began to spend more time in the Sussex area and eventually came into the orbit of leading ALF activists L1 and L2. They, along with Privacy, Tony Vanelli, also became close friends and visited him at his work and met some of the lovies with whom MT was filming. Is it right that activists, including Tony Vanelli, visited you at your cover employment?
Some activists certainly did, because they worked as extras.
And is it right that they met people who you would describe as lovies with whom you were filming?
I presume so.
And how did they come to secure that work as extras?
I would have organised it, or arranged it rather.
Goes on to say, about a year ago, MT moved away from and began to work for a company. It is run by 2 people. MT is currently working on a large project which is due for completion in March 2001. He is only known to redacted as James Straven and is to all intents and purposes a real employee. He has now been promoted to locations unit manager and is presumably on a commensurate salary. So by this stage you have moved within the film industry. Have I understood that correctly?
That's certainly what this says.
Is that correct?
Certainly a company that was 2 people, it was the same person all the way through. The company name changed.
So this phrase, he is only known to the redacted name as James Straven, is that true or not?
Yes, that would be true.
And is to all intents and purposes a real employee, is that true?
If this is the second period of work I did, which from 2001, as I assume the one towards the end of my deployment, then everyone else on a set would have thought I was a real employee, yes.
What I'm driving at is, were you in fact, in the later parts of your deployment, a real employee?
No.
Were you being paid?
No.
Anything at all?
No, I mean, there's that £399. I don't know what it was for particularly, but if I was a locations person, I would have needed to spend money to do various things.
Your post-operational debrief you say that activists thought that you were, quote, lost in lovey land.
Okay.
Is that what your activist colleagues would have thought?
I certainly used it for a lot of anecdotes.
Anecdotes about people who were famous in the film industry?
Correct.
The sort of people who appeared on the same credits as you did?
Exactly.
Could we now look at B49, please, MPSO 749475. This is with withdrawal strategy document dated the 11th of July 2000, authored by HN58. Could we have a look at the section under work, please? He's currently working on a project which will culminate in March 2000, but until then he only does about 1 to 2 days per week. The real work comes during actual production. He hopes, as he has done in the past, to get work for some of his wearies as an added authenticity to his own employment. So the project that was going to culminate in March 2000, were you working 1 to 2 days per week towards that?
Through most of my deployment, I was probably visiting the office 1 to 2 days a week, not working.
And when the actual production began, what was the consequence of the real work coming during actual production, so far as how you spent your time was concerned?
I certainly spent 2 weeks on a set, essentially in exchange for being in the credits. I may well have run errands around that as well, but that was the lump of it.
Were you paid for that?
No.
He hopes, as he has done in the past, to get work for some of his wearies as added authenticity to his own employment. Did you do so?
I can't remember.
He will speak to somebody, Ray, the feasibility of work in the USA, but he does not envisage any need to reveal anything to an redacted name. Locations managers of 2L Penny, and it is unlikely that redacted will come looking for MT, and if he does, then redacted can be the cut-off point. Is that referring to real work in the USA or cover work in the USA?
No, that's cover work. That was set up on that the trip we referred to earlier.
The work that we can take that down now. The work that you did do in the film industry and the time you spent showing up at the office, etc., would you accept that was rather interesting and congenial work?
It was interesting, certainly.
And there was some travel involved in the film industry, wasn't there?
Yes, I was a locations assistant manager, whatever.
And so, to some extent, you were involved in a glamorous world doing an interesting job.
I suppose yes, but it was not a glamorous job.
Is it right that you watched at least one program which had your name in the credits at the end with some of those you were mixing with undercover?
I read that and I can't dispute it.
And was it glamorous mixing with household names like Peter O'Toole and Joanna Lumley?
It was very good. For anecdotes, certainly, yeah.
And have you fully disclosed to this inquiry the full extent of your work and earnings in the film industry?
Yes.
Can we move now to the subject of Kevin Crossland? And can we start with Kevin's birth certificate? It's in file 2 at tab B94, sir. MPS-0526 867. We go to the next page, please. Sorry, to page 14. I'll give you a moment to refresh your memory. This is Kevin's birth certificate, isn't it?
Yes.
And it is a copy which is dated the 9th of July 1991.
Yes.
Did you obtain this copy?
I presume so, yes.
Can you help us with the reference on the bottom, SB 309476?
No.
Is that a police reference number, a special branch reference number, or is it a reference number from the registry?
I don't know.
Can you help us with why you obtained a copy of Kevin's birth certificate on the 9th of July 1991?
No, I don't know.
Your witness statement suggests it was in the course of your then special branch employment some years pre-SDS. Is that true?
Yes.
So why is it that you now can only say that you don't know why you obtained this birth certificate?
Partly because it was in 1991, partly because I was very junior then. I got given actions, I got given inquiries, and I went to do them.
Did you obtain this birth certificate in the course of your service as a police officer?
Yes.
And were you sent to the registry to conduct inquiries for special branch?
Regularly, yes.
And did that involve essentially the question, we suspect X is a false identity based on that of a deceased person, will you go to the registry and check?
Could be based on anything. So it was done with legitimate people when you're doing a comprehensive report, for example. There were a number of reasons, actions that emerged out of larger operations that were running.
Can we take it there would be no police purpose to research the real Kevin who died age 5 in a plane crash?
No, none whatsoever.
Can you recall whether or not you were researching whether Kevin Crossland's identity had been used by somebody else?
No, I can't recall.
How then did you come across Kevin Crossland's birth certificate?
I don't know.
What did you do with the birth certificate after you had obtained it?
Took it back to the yard.
How did you still come to have it when you joined the SDS some years later?
I don't know. Haven't done anything with it.
Curious thing to keep, isn't it?
Yes.
Did you keep it thinking it might be an identity you might have cause to adopt at some point?
I don't think so at that stage, no.
and you offer the inquiry any explanation for retaining the birth certificate of a 5-year-old boy who died in a plane crash?
No.
Can we take that down, please, and can we have a look at UCPI 50350-1? We go to the substantive exhibit, please. This is Kevin's death certificate. When did you obtain this?
I don't know.
Would it have been in 1991 when you obtained the birth certificate?
I don't recall having this.
Well, your witness statement says that you knew that he had died abroad.
Yes,
How did you know that?
because in St Catherine's house there's books with basic information in that would have covered that.
With or without the death certificate?
Without the death certificate, you'd then have to apply for that.
Can you recall whether or not you ever did apply for the death certificate?
I've no recollection of ever doing that, no.
What is your recollection of when you first saw the death certificate?
I have a feeling this is the first time I'm seeing the death certificate.
The death certificate makes clear in column 2 the date that Kevin died and the place, the
Yes.
airport, Ljubljana.
Mm-hmm.
It also makes plain that the cause of death, column 7, was multiple injuries. Column 8 refers to Britannia Airways. Did you know in 1991 that Kevin had died in an aeroplane disaster?
I can't remember what's in the main register. I think it's the country, and I think that's about it, but I can't really remember what's there. It's much more basic than that.
Well, how did you link the birth certificate to any information about the death?
I presume that was the inquiry I was doing.
Well, if that was the inquiry you were doing, presumably one of the registers you would look at is the deaths in aircraft registered in the United Kingdom.
Could be.
Because if you were very good at misusing deceased children's identity, this is exactly the sort of registry you might use, because it's away from the ordinary register, isn't it?
Yes.
Did you in fact keep Kevin's birth certificate because you knew it was associated with a death certificate that was harder to find?
I don't remember why I kept it.
Can you recall who instructed you to go to the General Registry Office to conduct investigations into people's records?
No, it would have been whatever managers I had then.
You joined the SDS, and you learned when you joined the SDS that the practice was to make use a fictional identity, wasn't it?
Yes, when I joined properly, yeah.
Was there any purpose in you keeping Kevin's birth certificate any longer after that?
No, I mean, I don't think there was a purpose until then.
Did you address your mind to continued retention of the birth certificate?
I don't think so, no.
Did you ever receive any instruction from anyone within the Metropolitan Police Special Branch as to how to create an identity using a deceased child's identity?
I think it was discussed the first time I was approached, yeah.
This is when you were being sounded out to see whether you would like to put yourself forward for the SDS.
Yeah, there was sort of 2 occasions when that happened. This was the first one, I think.
So, at what level of granularity in this preliminary conversation to invite attention was the practice explained to you?
Fairly limited, I think.
Did you speak to John Dines at any point, at any time, about using an additional cover identity?
No, I've not spoken to John Dines.
Did you speak, and no names, please, to any undercover SDS officer, whether a contemporary or a predecessor, about using additional cover identities?
Not sure I've got the question quite right. So do you mean at this stage?
No, at any time.
Okay, no, I think not. I had that discussion when I was first approached about how it was done, which was then, and I don't think I had another discussion after that.
So would now be an appropriate time to take the mid-afternoon break.
Certainly. Need at least 10 minutes. Can you do 10 or do you want 15? 10's fine, right, 10 minutes. start.
Thank you, sir. Just one more question about the teaching on the tactic. You said that something had been mentioned at a high level when you were first approached about the SDS. Mentioning no names, yes, no to this question, can you remember who it was who made that approach to you and told you about the practice of using deceased children's identities?
Yes.
Could you write that down, please?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That's not a name we can use, so I will leave it at written evidence. Can I move now to the question of the electoral roll? Can we have MPS 0722 300, please? Tab B 99. Can we go to page 23? This is an Experian search that your managers had conducted when they were investigating your conduct. And this is electoral roll information, and it shows that at flat 2, 25 Southey Road, London SW9, 2 people were registered. James Straven and Kevin Crossland, spelt with 2 O's and 1 S. This was your cover address, wasn't it?
Yes.
And did you register as an elector at Kevin Crossland?
Yes.
And is the spelling there a spelling error?
Yes.
And why did you register Kevin as an elector in 2000?
I think in 2000 it was primarily to do bail checks.
Bail checks?
So, yes, if I was arrested, give that name.
Was it in any way linked to early discussion about your withdrawal?
I can't remember that.
Might it have been?
Yes, it might have been.
You did not seek authority to do this, did you?
No.
And would you accept that registering a dead person as on the electoral roll is wrong?
Certainly.
And illegal?
Yes.
If you had raised this with your managers, that might have been one of their concerns, mightn't it?
Certainly.
And by this stage, the SDS had long since itself abandoned the practice of using deceased children's identities.
Yes.
So you would have no reasonable expectation of being permitted to do this?
No.
Who, amongst your activist colleagues, do you say knew that you had a alternative identity, Kevin Crossland?
I don't remember using that name specifically with any of them.
Did you tell any of them that you did have a second identity?
I might well have done, yes.
Did you or didn't you?
I can't remember doing it specifically. I might well have done.
And to do so, to make that representation to them, you wouldn't actually have needed a specific person, would you? you could just say you had a second
Yes,
identity. Did you ever use Kevin's name when you were arrested?
I've seen reference in the documents to 2 times being temporarily arrested or detained by Surrey Police. I can't remember that particularly, but I accept it.
Well, hang on. Can we go to tab B136, MPS 0722282? Show the next page to show the witness what the document is. This is your post-operational debrief document, i.e. the document that you wrote.
Yep.
Can we go to page 6 and subparagraph 8? This is the relevant paragraph, and about halfway down in brackets, I was therefore content that although the name had been given to Surrey Sussex Police on 2 occasions, no record was held at SDS.
Yep.
So you are the source of this identity being given to Surrey Sussex Police on 2 occasions.
Yep.
Did you give Kevin's name to police on 2 occasions?
I don't know. I can't imagine why I said I'd had. If I hadn't, it would making things worse for me. So I assume it came from somewhere else that they already knew.
Can you recall either occasion?
No.
How did you know that they knew?
I don't remember.
Was that a supposition on your part?
Yes. Yeah. As I said, I still wasn't being honest when I wrote this document, but I can't think what I was trying to achieve by saying that, if they didn't know it.
Were you trying to show that it had some utility in the course of your deployment?
Perhaps.
But that may or may not, in fact, have been true.
Yep, I'd accept that.
Did you tell your managers about the Kevin Crossland identity at any point before they conducted checks and discovered for themselves?
No, I don't think so.
And did you withhold it from them because you knew it was wrong to have done what you did?
Yes.
Did you teach any activists how to go about researching and using a deceased person's identity?
Not that I can remember, no.
Can you give me a yes/no answer to this, please? Were you aware of any other SDS UCOs registering the name of a deceased person on the electoral roll?
No.
Did you give any thought to Kevin's family
No.
when you did any of this?
No.
Did you give any thought to Kevin?
No.
Can we take that document down, please, and go to tab B135, MPS-0719-722, please?
Sorry, just before we move on from that, can I just reiterate what I said yesterday about my apology? I'm aware Risa Crossland came and gave evidence and how hard that must have been. So I can only apologise, and as I said to you, how thoughtless I was.
We are moving now, once we've got 719722 up, to a document which is entitled An Overview and Summary of Inquiries. Again, the inquiries into your misconduct. Can we go to page 6, please? This is a document that dates from the 5th of July 2002. Use of detective agencies. On the 18th of January 2001, DS Thomson used his Straven current account to make a payment of £72.43 to Financial Trace and name deleted in Twickenham On the 20th of January 2001, he used his genuine Visa card to make a payment of £1,370 to the Cotswold Group in Cheltenham. It's not been possible to identify the Twickenham company, but inquiries show that the Cotswold Group is a detective agency. Can we start with Financial Trace and another name? Can you help us with why you spent £72.43 on an inquiry via Financial Trace?
No, I've no memory of that at all.
And why you would have used your Straven account for any such inquiry?
No knowledge.
Can you recall any reason why you ever conducted investigations as James Straven?
No.
Did you conduct any inquiries about Kevin Crossland or his relatives?
None.
On the 20th of January 2001, the Cotswold Group transaction. The Cotswold Group is a detective agency, isn't it?
It might be a detective agency as well. That's not the Cotswold Group that money went to.
The Cotswold Group is a detective agency that was at the material time based in Cheltenham.
It may well be.
Who do you say the transaction was with?
I think that was looked into and it turned out to be a building suppliers.
Who was it looked into by?
I believe DCS Black, or he had it done.
Would it
because
be
of that.
more accurate to say that you told him that?
No. I certainly said it's not a detective agency. I've not used a detective agency.
If we take that down now, have B138, that is 0732s89. And if we show the first page again, this is a long document about you. If we go to page 10, please. This is, we now need the next page, in fact, a little D, finance. Despite the penetrating investigation carried out, there seem to be innocent explanations for most of the perceived discrepancies in this area. For instance, the Cotswold Company is not a detective agency but a direct sale garden company. DS Thomson apparently bought flagstones from them. Is that what you told DCS Black?
I don't think I could remember what it was because it was put to me as a detective agency. I just knew I hadn't used a detective agency.
Well, how would DCS Black know that you apparently bought flagstones from them?
Because I imagine he worked out what the company was from whatever was on the credit card receipt and then asked me about that.
There's nothing to suggest that any, and the paperwork to suggest that any investigation was carried out. On the contrary, we're going to hear evidence that it was a rather short meeting which these matters were put to you. There's a briefing note for DCS Black, and that the explanation, it therefore appears that this arises from the explanation you gave. Might that be the correct explanation?
I don't think DCS Black would ever have accepted that.
Could we go to B109, MPS 0745388. Said today you didn't know why you'd kept the birth certificate. Posited that you might have registered the name on the electoral roll to give yourself a false identity in case of arrest. I want to look at some of the explanations you've given for using Kevin's identity. This is a note of a meeting. If we go to the end of the document, see it's DCS Colin Black, and if we scroll down to see the date, 19th of March 2002. Go back to the beginning, please. Records that you had a 9 o'clock meeting in the S Squad office, South London, in the presence of DCI Dell, and you were spoken to for about 40 to 45 minutes on that occasion. If we go to paragraph 4, he admitted creating a fictitious identity in a yet different name. He had obtained a birth certificate and a provisional driving licence in that name, had entered it on the electoral roll, and had converted some utilities bills into that name. This, he said, he had done because he knew at an early stage that his extraction from his area of work would not be properly handled by the office, and he therefore felt that he had to take steps to ensure his operational safety. He agreed to surrender all paperwork in fictitious names. Is that paragraph, first of all, an accurate record of the meeting?
I'm sure it is.
Is it the truth?
No.
What is the truth?
Truth is, I wanted that other identity. I wanted to continue the James Straven life.
And so what you were asserting about knowing at an early stage that your exfiltration wouldn't be handled properly is just lies.
It might be true as well, but it's not the truth in response to that.
At what point did you have reservations about exfiltration?
I think I struggled, as I said earlier, with management generally from the point it flipped over to 53 and 58, were essentially the managers.
But how would having a fictitious identity as Kevin Crossland have helped your exfiltration?
I can't imagine, really. I don't really know what I was going to do with it.
And that does beg the question of why you did it.
Yes, and I can't answer it. I cannot rationalise this whole...
Could we take that down now, please? Could we have up the document you will find, sir, at tab B123, MPS 0719747. This is 4th of April 2002. It's about a meeting at your home, wrapping up your deployment. This is after you've had final...
Sorry, can I make a...
Yes.
I don't want to make it... Can I make a point not on the microphone?
Yes. We'll need to...
Shall I just write something down?
Yes. Thank you. We've noted that.
Thank you.
Could it be shown to? And in particular, the question is whether you'd like to invite us to stop. Thank you. At the bottom of this page, can we have the last 5 or 6 lines, please? MD was keen to be able to provide such an explanation for each element. The creation of the Crossland identity, however, threatened that ambition. Now, this is effectively DCI Dell saying to you, we really would like to be able to help you with higher authorities, if the gist being, if you've got good explanations. But he goes on, threatened that ambition. MD told MT that if he persisted in offering the view that Crossland was created to ease his covert entry into the USA, following MD's refusal but weeks ago to allow MT to be in the USA under his operational cover identity and unsupervised, MD would be compelled to report that MT was lying, given that the construction of the Crossland identity began not early in 2002, but at least 2 years ago. So if I could stop there, keep it up on the screen, but stopping there, is it right that you had been saying to your managers that you had developed the Crossland identity to allow you to get into the USA unsupervised?
Yes, I accept that.
It goes on, MT appeared to fail to appreciate the significance of this and repeated his assertion that Crossland was created to counter a deficiency in his exit strategy. MD explained again that he was aware that the Crossland identity began to form at least 2 years ago. MT appeared taken aback by this, sat back in his chair and said nothing. Is that an accurate description of what happened at this meeting?
I can't remember it particularly, but yeah, failing to appreciate that significance sounds entirely possible.
Was that because you had not appreciated the extent to which your activities had been investigated by your managers?
I think it's because I was failing to appreciate almost everything.
And that essentially one of your lies had been detected?
Amongst others, yes.
Can we take that document down now? Why did you apply for a driving licence, a provisional driving licence, in Kevin's name in March of 2002?
I presume just to reinforce that identity.
And how would a provisional driving licence reinforce the identity?
It's photo ID.
And that was, of course, without any authority.
Yes.
And the person in question was actually dead.
Yes.
That's quite wrong.
Yes.
Unlawful.
Yes.
And you must have known that at the time.
Yes.
Did you seek a copy of a cover driving licence from the person we are calling HN56?
Sorry, I haven't got a 56.
Right, well, we'll come back to that at another time then, and we'll tell you who HN56 really was. And I'll move on in the meantime to banking facilities. you say in your witness statement that you accept attempting to obtain banking facilities in Kevin's identity. Why did you do that?
Again, to substantiate it as an identity.
And whose money was going to go into Kevin's accounts if you'd been successful?
Mine.
And again, attempting to obtain a bank account in the name of a person who is actually deceased. Quite wrong.
Certainly.
Unlawful.
I presume so. Utility
bills. Can we have a look at, it's tab B93 MPS 0526 867. And if we could go to pages 23 and 24, please. Thank you very much. On the right, there's a letter 23rd of January 2002. Dear Mr. Crossland, thank you for your inquiry. I am pleased to confirm that you have been the registered customer for the above address since the 28th of January 2001, and that your account number is, and it gives an account number, and it appears to be a standard letter. Can you help us why the letter is dated 2002, but it says you've been the registered customer since Kevin Crossland's been the registered customer since the 28th of January 2001?
No, I mean, I can't remember the letter, except that I'd put him on as the customer.
Can you recall whether you did that in 2001 or in 2002?
I'm sure their information is correct.
Well, are you sure you did it in 2001 and only received a letter about it in 2002?
I can't remember receiving this letter or why I would have asked for it.
Why did you do it?
Again, to substantiate the Crossland identity.
Was this proof of address or more than that?
Proof of address, I suppose proof of a financial existence before trying to get a bank account or something like that. I can't really remember.
Can we take that down and go to tab B93 MPS-0526 867? Oh, sorry, it's the same document, just to page 19 of the same document. This is registering a phone line in Kevin's name. Why did you need a BT account as well as a London electricity account?
I don't know. I can't ever recall having a landline at that address.
And presumably both an electricity account and a BT account incur expense.
Yes.
Who's paying for this?
It would be me.
With what?
My money.
Your money from?
I presume my salary.
You presume your salary. Was it from your salary or not?
Yes.
If we go back to page 17, it says council tax. You're registering Kevin for council tax, and we see in the top right that at that stage the council tax for the property was £658.67 per annum. So by the time we've got electricity, phone, council tax, financially this is beginning to add up, isn't it?
Yes.
Why was this needed?
Again, same answer. It would have been to substantiate the identity.
Above and beyond electricity bills, BT bills,
Yep.
provisional driving licence, birth certificate.
And so on.
Page 15, please. Water. This one's undated. Can you help us as to broadly when you registered for water?
No, I presume it was all happening at about the same time, but I can't remember it.
And why did you set about getting so many of these documents into place early in 2002?
I presume, as I said, to continue with the James Straven life somehow afterwards. But why so many? Doesn't make sense.
Was it to keep, did you have in mind keeping on the address?
Don't think so.
Did you have in mind some other address from which you might live as Kevin Crossland?
I certainly hadn't identified one.
Or as James Straven?
No, same.
And what was your motive for wanting to keep the James Straven identity going?
It was a life. It was a life I was living. I liked it.
And you liked it because?
I liked the character, I liked the liberation, I liked the people. All sorts of... It was a life.
The job?
No, not particularly. I couldn't see that continuing.
The sexual relationships?
Certainly.
The fact that you were something of a prominent character in the world that you were pretending to live in?
I don't know. It was all part of the same existence, so perhaps.
Adventurous?
It was liberated.
In what respect?
Completely at odds with the sort of button-down MPS existence, I suppose.
Less disciplined?
Much less discipline. No discipline.
Now, why did you need Kevin Crossland's identity to continue living as James Straven?
Because I knew the James Straven name would initially be terminated. They controlled that.
Would using Kevin's name prevent any management checks detecting that you were still living in a false identity?
It would have helped and certainly acted as a bridge, yes.
Did you at any time contemplating living a false identity which was reinforced by documents in the name Kevin Crossland for any official purposes, whilst you continued to mix with activists as James Straven?
Yes.
Why didn't you, did you do that?
No.
Why didn't you do that?
I think, a number of reasons, and I was lucky in some respects. I don't think it occurred to me that I might not do that until I had the second and more significant meeting with DCS Black, which frankly was probably the first time I started seriously thinking more objectively. It's the first time I felt more like the branch officer I had been before.
In other words, would it be right to say that in the early months of 2002 you had every reason to think that your future in the NPS might be very short-lived?
Yes, I anticipated that, I think.
Being sacked?
Yeah.
And is this contingency planning in case you're sacked?
It obviously started a long way before that.
By the time you're getting starting to spend serious money?
Yeah, yes, it goes back.
But you're signing up to financial liabilities, backing up the Crossland identity with a lot of paperwork in early 2002. My question to you is, was that because you thought you were going to be sacked and you were planning for your future?
I was certainly planning for a future. I don't know that it would really, certainly when some of this was going on, I don't think I'd have got that far.
What do you mean? You don't think you'd have actually done it, or you weren't thinking
No,
it?
sorry, I don't think I was thinking about being sacked or not being sacked at that point.
Presumably, if you got to the stage where your managers have found out, as we have been through, that you have been committing multiple criminal offences,
Yep.
acting in frank disobedience of orders, you've been obtaining all sorts of documents you shouldn't have, passport, driving licences,
Yep.
and so forth. Surely you must have wondered what was going to happen to you.
I must have done in some way. Obviously, for a lot of it, I was still in denial. I was still in denial when I had that meeting with MD that you just referred to,
And you must have
when it's right in my face.
And you must have contemplated that being sacked, being disciplined, being sacked were possibilities?
I would hope so.
So I come back to seeking an explanation for why in the early months of 2002 you are signing up to significant financial expenditure in the name of Kevin Crossland.
And I can only give you the same answer I've already given.
Why did you have with the phone number, did you actually use the account?
I'm not sure what that is, whether it's a landline or whether they did mobiles at that time. If it's a landline, I don't think so, no.
And if it's a mobile?
Then I think there was a mobile in Kevin Crossland's name.
And why were you using a mobile in Kevin Crossland's name?
Same reason,
Which is?
to substantiate the identity.
And who were you calling?
I don't know, anyone.
Calls you wish to hide, or just any
I
calls?
think interchangeable by that point.
What do you mean by interchangeable?
I don't think I was thinking about it, or certainly not sensibly.
Can you help us with what became of these accounts? What happened to the London electricity account in Kevin's name?
I don't know, I presume the office closed it.
Did you close it?
Not that I can remember.
Did you transfer it to a new address?
No,
Did you continue to receive bills?
no,
The BT account?
same.
The Thames Water account?
And the same again.
Council tax account?
Exactly the same.
Did you ever use any aspect of Kevin's identity in any way after you withdrew from your deployment at the end of March 2002?
I don't believe so, no.
Did anyone else, to your knowledge?
No.
Can I ask for the document at tab B43, MPS 0018359 to be brought up, please? This is the SDS Undercover Operations Code of Practice at the front, and if we could go to page 10, please. This is the Code of Conduct for Undercover Special Branch Officers. Paragraph 3, the officer must not adopt another identity or use logistic support provided other than in direct support of the special branch operation. This is a document that's associated with DCI Dell's name, so it postdates the middle of 2001 when he came into post. Did you know about this code of conduct?
I don't remember seeing it before. I certainly wouldn't have not thought that.
Was you ever shown this document as far as you can remember?
Not that I can remember.
Can you remember whether you signed it?
I can't.
I think your earlier answer was designed to preempt the question. This was obviously a breach of that code.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Did you consider whether your use of Kevin's identity was immoral?
I didn't consider it then, no.
And do you consider it immoral now?
Certainly.
Have you read I know you've heard Lisa Crossland's evidence. Have you read their evidence as well, Lisa and
Yes.
Mott's?
Yep.
Thank you. Could we take that document down now, please? Can we move to another topic, which is the quality of your tradecraft? Can we start in volume 3 at the document MPS 0719722? This is an overview and summary of inquiries into you. It's dated the 5th of July 2002 by HN 53. We've looked at other bits of it before. Can we have pages 6 and 7 first, please? This is about your spending patterns. At the bottom of page 6, under the heading Contamination of Thomson, Straven Banking Facilities, and over to the first half of page 7, I'll give you a moment to read that.
Okay.
Do you accept that you are mixing your spending in ways which contaminated your undercover identity?
Certainly.
And that gives rise to a risk not only to you but to the SDS operation.
Yes.
And if we could move now to pages 9 and 10. And this is contaminated calls, paragraph 4.2.1, which starts at the bottom of page 9, goes over to the top of the next page with a table.
Yep.
Again, would you accept that the way you were using telephones contaminated your real and cover lives?
Certainly.
And that was poor tradecraft.
Very much so.
Why did you spend in ways which risked your cover?
I honestly can't remember.
Why did you use your telephones in ways which risked your cover?
The same applies. I can't remember. It makes no sense whatsoever. It wouldn't have been necessary. I'm not sure I still cared.
Can we infer from this sloppy tradecraft that those you were mixing with did not pose a physical threat to you?
No,
Why not?
because they did.
Well, if they did, surely you would have been more careful.
I should have been.
But you were very sloppy, weren't you?
Very much so.
Can we, in the same document now, look at the volume of calls at the bottom of page 10? And we see in the analysis of calls for a 1-year period that you have called Ellie 301 times. Well, there have been 301 connections, 94 to Wendy, 64 to L3, 53 to L4, 48 to Sarah at a time when postdates your sexual relationship.
Yep.
As well as being evidence which made your managers suspicious about your contact with women undercover, this gives us some indication, doesn't it, of how you were spending your time. You were concentrating more on Ellie and Wendy than L3 and L4.
There's certainly more calls to them shown on this.
And was that because the reality was you were far more interested in living the life that you've described as liking than you were in policing animal rights activism?
No, I think that's taking it too far, but I certainly did.
And this is at a time when there is extremely little reporting coming from you.
Again, I dispute the level of reporting that's shown.
If we zoom that out again, and if we could have page 2 of the document, paragraph 2.3. Good, thank you. And this is the analysis of your intelligence reporting between the 1st of January 2000 and the 25th of March 2002. It says that you produced 21 intelligence reports, a third relating to the L4-5 affair that we've been through, the other 13 providing, in your manager's opinion, little or no preemptive intelligence, and that references to L2, L3 and L1 are only in general terms. And there is a paradox there, given the claimed close association that your manager felt you had with them. And there are some comparators. Another officer has provided 222 reports in the same period, and someone in the same field as you, codename Apple Source, that's HN60, 170 reports within a year. Do you accept that the volume of your reporting is reported here relatively contemporaneously and therefore is likely to be statistically correct?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Number of reasons. Firstly, that level of report, quite apart from sort of quality and quantity discussions, would never have been possible. It was a busy time. There were a number of campaigns going on, sort of time of what they call the blitzkrieg type campaigns, which needed almost daily reporting. I'd contrast it with this particular manager's opinion now and other managers, and indeed the performance report that I cite in my Rule 9, which is completely different to that, but almost exactly the same period. There's no way he would have written that on that basis.
Are you accusing the author of lying and falsifying the volume of your activity?
I think he's been very selective.
Now, how can he be selective about the number of intelligence reports that you have produced in a specific period?
I suppose it depends where he decided to look.
Well, where could he have looked?
I don't know. I don't know where they went. Certainly the bits that we've done that miss person number 4, for example, a lot of them miss constabulary stuff, and some whole campaigns are missing.
Can I ask for that document to be taken down? Can I explore how much time you were spending at home during your deployment? How much time did you spend with your real partner?
It varied. It varied a lot.
Between?
Sometimes I'd be there most days, sometimes I wouldn't be there for a week or so.
Was there a change in that pattern over time?
Yes.
And what was the change over time?
There were probably several changes over time. It got significantly less at times.
Towards the end, the last couple of years?
Yes, probably.
I was asking you in that last couple of years, high or low amounts of contact?
Sorry, low.
Lucy and other friends?
In terms of with none.
And were you spending any other time living your real life?
Yes, on my own, if that's what you mean.
Times with your children?
Certainly.
Quite a lot of time with your children.
Some time with my children.
The Open University. You studied a number of courses, didn't you?
A course, number of qualifications from
I
it.
see. How much time are you spending with the Open University?
Enough to pass it.
Can you help us with how much time it took you to pass it?
I was doing it at the slow rate, so I can't remember how it works in terms of half modules and so on, but if a proper degree is 3 years, it was 6 years.
All the while spending a great deal of your time in your undercover identity.
Yep.
Can we move now to your exfiltration plan? Tab B82, sir, MPS 0719701. This is a proposed chronology, a proposed plan to exfiltrate from your deployment. It's dated the 19th of October 2001, and our understanding is that you produced this. It was your proposal, is that right?
I can't remember exactly how it happened, but yeah, it's mostly mine.
And you were proposing an exfiltration that would have been pretty protracted and taken course over quite a long period of time.
Yep.
And was that because you wanted to do anything you could to prolong your deployment?
Yes.
Can we take that down now and go to tab B111, MPS 0719587? This is a file note of the 20th of March 2002, apparently written by DCI Dell, and it records a private meeting that you had with him that day before another meeting with Sergeant Greeny. If we could expand the text, please. I'll give you a moment to remind yourself of the content, but it's the penultimate paragraph in particular I'm going to be concentrating on.
Yes, I remember it.
The penultimate paragraph reads, he said that yesterday after his interview with DCS Black and me, he had spent 2 hours at Beachy Head and now acknowledged the need to see our consultant psychiatrist. I need to see Mary Piper. We agreed that he would keep the appointment to see her on the 27th of March and that he did not wish to accept my offer of arranging an immediate meeting. It says you apologise for letting him down and for letting down your colleagues. Did you give DCI Dell an apology on that occasion?
I can't remember that occasion.
Did you tell DCI Black that you had spent 2 hours at Beachy Head?
I can't remember doing so, no.
Do you have any reason to doubt that you did?
No.
And did you in fact go to Beachy Head?
I can't remember it.
Could we have a look, if we could take that document down now and have a look at tab B129, sir, MPS 0719684. There is at page 10, these are expenses details. It says for the 19th of March 2002 that you're on duty at 9 o'clock outside the Metropolitan Police District, at 10 o'clock to go to Sussex. You've refuelled at Hailsham at 13:38 and you've returned to the Metropolitan Police District at 11:30. You claim £19.98. Out 13:30, A22, Hailsham, Beachy Head. That, it says, has been pencilled in by you. Does that jog your memory at all?
Sorry, what was the date of the meeting with Mike Dell on the previous document?
20th of March.
Okay, so yeah.
Why did you go to Beachy Head?
I don't remember doing it.
Did you feel at all suicidal?
I must have been distressed. I don't think I was suicidal.
Might a trip to Beachy Head to have been to go to a nice place where you could get some fresh air and a views to clear your head?
Walk along Beachy Head and think about things, certainly. Yeah.
Not with a view to suicide?
I don't think so.
Can we take that down now, please? Can we have B115, MPS 0719829? This is following up, and we're pursuing the theme of going to see Dr. Piper. This is HN53's file note of the 26th of March, and it records that he pressed you on the importance of going to see Dr. Piper. And it says that you said that you did not wish to speak to Mary, that being Dr. Piper, said did not want to do so until the investigation was over. You are reminded that Dr. Piper is independent and that anything you say to her is wholly confidential. You maintain your position that you're not going to attend the meeting that had been set up for the 27th of March. Is that an accurate record of the conversation you had with HN53?
I don't remember that at all, or any discussions about seeing Mary Piper at that point.
Do you doubt the accuracy of this?
I do.
In what respects?
I think if that offer had been there, I probably would have taken it, but that might be wishful thinking now. I note they don't want to do so till after the investigation was over. That's entirely possible. I would have assumed she was going to report to them anyway.
And you were, as we discussed earlier, trying to withhold as much as you could.
And I was still trying to withhold stuff at that point anyway, yeah. So I can't really say one way or the other.
Were you trying to portray to your managers that you were a man in distress and trying to encourage them to exonerate you in the investigation?
No, I think I was. And I think I would have seen Mary Piper. In your scenario, it would obviously been advantageous to speak to her.
Can we have a look at B114, MPS 0719679? This is about the return of your vehicle at the end of the deployment. It was a black Volvo T70 Estate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The third of the indents under that heading says the vehicle displayed a current road fund licence issued earlier this month and valid for a period of 6 months until the end of August. The cost was £88. On the 21st of February 2002, Magenta Triangle was given £160